Has she gone crazy? What is she doing? This is a stress reliever. No, I am building my compost. I am building free soil. What I'm doing is I compost in place. So I have no turning. I let nature do it for me. And I want to take you through how I planted my blueberries, because you can do the same thing no matter what you're planting, especially when it comes to gardening food to eat. I also am going to put a warning in here that some of the plants, the way they're packed, if it's not removed, your plant will end up not growing and just disappear. So you'll want to check your plants for this as well. So let's get into how I did this, and you can copy this too when you are trying to save money on soil. And let me tell you something, it's better. It's exactly the way nature does it. So I really garden on the cheap. This is a chair I found in the trash, and what I'm doing here is I'm giving it a quick paint over, and I'm going to do it in green since that's what I've got already, which will look really good. It will protect the chair, and I'm not going to do the legs, maybe just for a little color. But this will help it from not breaking up all over and falling all over the ground, because it's kind of like a leather. Now I decided to go with that blue tote. I figured blueberries, and it's a nice tote, 18 gallon, and I'm bringing out my power bank. Now you can get these units. It's a power station, 200 watt. You recharge it when it goes down, and you can use all kinds of electrical tools and all kinds of stuff with that. But I plugged in my soldering iron because I need to make holes in the tote. Remember, all pots need drainage. So now that it's heated up, and I was just looking around to see what I'm going to put in there, I am making my holes in my tote, so when I water my plants, it will not turn into a pond. Everything will drain out of the bottom. Now you can make as many holes as you want. I put 3 good size holes in there. I can always add in more later. Now I just go around collecting whatever there is that was once a plant. Dead plants, brown plants, yellow plants, it doesn't matter. Something I want to take out, weeds, whatever I've got. That goes on the bottom. And this way I am going to build free soil. Now I've also got soil in buckets all over, because anytime I change a pot out, and if I don't need all the soil, I just throw it into buckets, and I've got it to add in. Now this came out of my garden. This is tree colored. And as you saw, there were yellow and green leaves. Oh my goodness, do the microbes and earthworms love that. And your plants will love you for it. And then I'm mashing down everything kind of to compress it. And again, more soil. Yes, used. It doesn't matter. It's going to be brand new. I mean, nature doesn't throw out soil. Nature builds soil. More stuff from around the yard, other pots that maybe plants have died back and they only were seasonal plants. So now I can use that soil. And I'm putting my soldering iron away and my power bank away. It's actually a power station. Look how easy it is. I'm not going to burden you with 52 minutes of this. That's how long it took me. And then you want a good watering. Now I'm washing out my bucket because I put in some kitchen scraps in there that were sitting outside, kind of rotted away. Well, don't throw that away. That's plant food. So we kind of wash out the bucket and then give it a good watering. Now you could add earthworms in, but using old soil from around the property, I'm sure there's earthworms in there already, even if it's eggs. There it is. Now these are 3 blueberry plants that have been sitting in their pots for way too long, like 2-3 years. And I really got to get them planted, but I have to be very careful on how I'm going to plant it, because if I do it in a way that they go into shock, they'll die on me, and I don't want that to happen. So here I am trimming them down, but I'm not going to take them out of their pots. You go, what? You left them in the pots for almost 3 years and now you're not taking them out? Nope, I'm not going to take them out because I'm afraid they could go into total shock. So I'm trimming anything that's brown, or I know, it's no good. It might be branches that have crossed over and they're rubbing on each other. Now the bigger one also has blooms. You can see it's going to start soon. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the label off of that one and stick it behind the chair. This way I know what type of blueberry it is. The other ones have regular labels. I can stick that in the soil or leave it where it is. But I'll stick it around so I know what type of blueberry I'm planting, because they're different types. And again, I'm doing good trimming. None of these are coming out of the pots. At least not now. You'll see what I'm going to do in a second. But this way the plant doesn't know it's been moved and it won't go into shock. And there it is. This is how I want it. I'm going to put the bigger one to the left so I won't walk into it. I am slicing the pots down and taking off the bottom, just with a simple scissors. Now I'm still going to leave them in the pot, but the plant won't know it's been moved. And with the bottoms off, they'll send their roots out through the bottom. But later on, as the plants become established, I can just slip them off. but it's still in the pot, which means the water will go directly to the roots. So it won't go sideways or anywhere else. Now I'm bringing my acidifier because blueberries need that. Now I didn't read the instructions really. I'm just putting some handfuls around. I'm going to start that way since it hasn't had anything special in all these years. I can come back later, read it, and add in more, but I'm just sprinkling it around for blueberries. I wouldn't have to do it if it was any other plant. And now I'm going to build the soil up around the pot. Again, I put more leaf matter around there. It brings the earthworms and microbes closer to the plant, which is going to feed the plant. They're not feeding them. It's the droppings that the earthworms leave behind. That's what the plants use. That's fertilizer. It's gold. It's great. It helps the plants grow, and that's how nature works. And again, you can see I'm just taking whatever soil I've got. I'm not using any bag soil here. It didn't cost me anything, just soil I have collected, over the past couple months. And now I'm watering it pretty good, and I'll put my bag away. Oh, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more. And that's it. Now what I want to do is layer. So we're going to layer, but look at the pots. The plants will not know it's been moved, and hopefully it won't go into shock. If it goes into shock, well, then they'll all disappear, dry up in the next week or two. But I think we might be able to save them. What do you think? This will be cool. Now I did put that palm tree there only because it grew on the pot on its own, and it was just sitting there, so I'm using it as layering, and I'm putting leaves and wood chips, whatever I found, as a blanket. It's a top cover. It's mulching. And now I'm watering all the pots, including the blueberries, and yes, I'll get rid of the palm tree later. So here it is. It's been almost 2 weeks, and look at this. They're starting. I'm going to start getting blueberries on here. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. This blueberry plant I bought came in a package, but what I didn't do is I had planted it out front, but I didn't examine it. I want you to see this. This is like a tea bag. This plant is probably not going to make it. This is a fibrous material, and they grow them in these pods. The pods are supposed to break down. They do not break down. It's like a lot of those pots you can buy that are made out of who knows what, and they tell you they're brown, and they tell you just plant them and they break down. A lot of times they will not break down and your plants will just die. So what I should have done is really inspected it, but you can see it is completely wound inside the roots, and it's a fiber that's going to be a nylon, like nylon stockings, if anybody remembers those. And that's what this is. So if you've got that on any of your plants, when you buy them at the nursery, get it off right away. Because once it goes into the plant, it forms a root ball and there's no saving it. And this includes those peat moss pots that they say will break apart. If they don't break apart, because a lot of times they have to break up by microbes. If the microbes don't break it up, what happens is it sits in the soil and it just doesn't go anywhere and the plant fizzes out. So look for that. But this is what I wanted to give you a tip on, because all those plants that I had bought from them died. And that was because their starts were in that pot and it just did not break down. And it's just terrible on that. And this, keep in mind, don't throw tea bags in your compost. They're not made out of paper. They're made out of who knows what. Look it up and Google what tea bags are made out of. It's not worth it. They don't break down, and it's just a fiber that stays in there and can get into the roots of the plants. So I wanted to give you a heads up on that. But this is doing good. This won't stay here. I'll put something else there later that will be better. Maybe a lettuce or some parsley or something. And look how beautiful this is growing in that pot. But I wanted to show you, so far they're doing really good. I keep it well watered and I'm really happy with it. And well, that's how easy it is to plant, save money, and make your own soil, because the soil you buy in bags, they call it soil. There's nothing in it. No earthworms, no microbes want to go to it. There's nothing for them. You want something that's alive, soil that's completely alive for your plants. So I hope I gave you plenty of tips and ideas to get your garden going and to save money, because if nature can do all this for free, all of it, everything you see, is done by nature, then you most certainly can do it for close to free too. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. And it's always good when you first plant plants to keep a little watering can nearby, because this way you can just pick it up and not even have to give it any thought and just water your plants. Otherwise, when you have to go look for a watering can, sometimes you forget, or I do. Bye-bye.